Wait, you actually eat this stuff?
Yeah, why? It's just spam.
Come on, the meat in there looks kind of gross. That's a very familiar situation. You're standing in a supermarket, holding a small blue can in your hand, while your friend next to you looks at you with clear suspicion. For some people, it's a food that brings back memories. But for many others, it's a questionable mystery meat, surrounded by rumors that it isn't fully cooked and contains strange ingredients. But what most people don't know is that spam is made from an almost ridiculously simple list of ingredients. So what exactly are those ingredients? Why does the meat inside that can look so unsettling? Is it really not fully cooked? Does eating it affect your health? This is QC Project, Simple Things. Despite the wild urban legends, spam is actually made from a remarkably short list of just 6 ingredients. The core of every can is high-quality pork shoulder and ham. In the early 20th century, pork shoulder was often overlooked by butchers, but food innovators realized it could be transformed into a delicious, shelf-stable staple. The main secret is simply ground meat mixed with salt, water, potato starch, sugar, and a tiny amount of sodium nitrite. The potato starch acts as a binder to keep the meat moist, while the sodium nitrite is the essential element that gives the meat its signature pink color and prevents spoilage. The beauty of this product lies in its radical transparency. When you open a can, that thin layer of clear gelatin you see isn't a chemical additive either. It is a natural byproduct formed when the meat is cooked inside the tin, much like the juices that settle at the bottom of a roasting pan at home. This self-sealing process allowed people to enjoy a protein-rich meal thousands of miles away from a refrigerator. In the late 1930s, the world was a very different place, and food waste was a luxury no one could afford. J. Hormel, the head of Hormel Foods, faced a specific challenge. He had thousands of pounds of pork shoulder that were difficult to sell because they were time-consuming to bone out. Instead of letting this quality meat go to waste, he decided to create the world's first canned ham that didn't require refrigeration. The goal was to build a product that was convenient, delicious, and affordable for families struggling during the Depression. But there was one problem. It needed a catchy name. Hormel hosted a New Year's Eve party and offered a $100 prize for the best name. An actor named Ken Daigneault blurted out "Spam," and the rest is history. When it launched on July 5, 1937, Spam was an instant hit, but its true global expansion came with World War II. The US military needed a protein source that could survive long journeys across oceans and sit in tropical heat without spoiling. Hormel shipped over 100 million pounds of spam to soldiers overseas, unknowingly introducing it to cultures from Hawaii to the Philippines and Okinawa. Today, what started as a solution for leftover pork shoulder has become a beloved cultural icon in dozens of countries. Now, let's step through the doors of the factory to witness firsthand the remarkable transformation of these cuts of meat. Can you imagine a production line capable of turning out thousands of cans every hour while still maintaining precision down to the milligram? The process begins with the grinding, where fresh pork shoulder and ham are brought in and chilled to just above freezing. This ensures the meat stays firm and safe as it's ground into a consistent texture. Then comes the giant mixers, where our simple 6 ingredients are blended. But here's the clever part. The mixing happens under a vacuum. By removing the air, we prevent the meat from oxidizing, which keeps it fresh and gives it that perfect, dense texture. Once mixed, the meat isn't cooked yet. It is vacuum sealed into the iconic blue cans while still raw. Can you guess why? Because the can itself acts as a miniature pressure cooker. After the lids are seamed tight, the cans move into a massive hydrostatic cooker. This giant machine slowly heats the cans, cooking the meat inside its own juices. This in-can cooking is the secret to Spam's long shelf life. The high heat kills all bacteria, and the hermetic seal prevents any new ones from entering. No preservatives needed, just pure physics. Finally, the cans travel through a cooling canal, get their labels, and are boxed for shipping. It's a seamless dance of high-speed engineering and food safety. Once those blue cans leave the precision of the factory line, they begin a journey marked by more than 9 billion cans sold across 44 countries. This remarkable figure is proof that Spam has successfully established its position in the culinary world. In Hawaii alone, people consume around 7 million cans each year, the highest per capita rate in the United States. Meanwhile, South Korea has become the second largest market in the world, where premium gift sets are seen as a symbol of prestige. The brand has successfully tapped into the retro cool trend, attracting a new generation that values convenience. Social media has played a massive role in this modern revival, with chefs and home cooks sharing creative recipes that go far beyond a basic sandwich. From Spam fries to budai jjigae, army stew, its versatility is unmatched. The product's longevity is a masterclass in branding, proving that if a product is reliable, affordable, and adaptable, it can transcend generations. It is no longer just a wartime relic, it is a pantry staple that bridges tradition and trend. And of course, if we're talking about food, we can't ignore the most important thing: flavor. Contrary to its somewhat plain appearance, Spam delivers the rich, savory taste we all crave. It strikes a perfect balance between the fattiness of pork and the signature saltiness, rounded out by a subtle hint of sweetness from sugar. However, to truly enjoy Spam, you shouldn't eat it cold, straight from the can. You need heat. When sliced thin and pan-fried, the natural fat renders out and the sugars undergo the Maillard reaction, creating a crispy golden crust that contrasts beautifully with the tender meat inside. To make it even better at home, try balancing its saltiness with acidity. A squeeze of lemon, some spicy kimchi, or a glaze of soy sauce and honey. When you treat Spam with the same respect as a premium steak, it will reward you with a surprisingly complex flavor. This humble ingredient has even earned the respect of culinary giants. The late, legendary Anthony Bourdain was a famous fan, often praising its place in classic dishes like Korean army stew. Celebrity chefs like Roy Choi, the pioneer of the gourmet food truck movement, and Sheldon Simeon of Top Chef fame, have elevated Spam by integrating it into sophisticated fusion dishes that celebrate its heritage. They don't see it as cheap meat, but as a versatile tool for flavor. So why does Spam have to bear this sense of disgust from a portion of the public? The negative reaction to Spam doesn't come from the product itself, but rather from a combination of history, psychology, and perception. First, Spam's image is closely tied to wartime, especially World War II. During that period, it was a repetitive staple in the diet of American soldiers, a convenient but monotonous source of protein. This sense of being forced to eat it too often created a lasting negative impression that persisted for decades, even spreading to civilians after the war. Second is the sensory factor. A uniform pink block of meat shaped like a rectangle and pulled out of a sealed metal can. This goes against our natural expectations of what fresh meat should look like. Our brains tend to be skeptical of things that appear overly perfect or heavily processed. Third is the influence of popular culture. Comedy sketches by groups like Monty Python turned Spam into a recurring joke, repeated to the point of annoyance. From there, the term spam was even adopted to describe unwanted junk messages on the internet, further reinforcing its negative image. Finally, there's the bias against industrial food. In an era where consumers increasingly favor fresh, organic, and minimally processed options, a long-standing canned product like Spam is easily categorized as low quality, even though its actual ingredients are quite simple and transparent. In short, Spam isn't disgusting. It's simply carrying an inherited image that not everyone has taken the time to question. But then, is this little blue can a nutritional savior or a culprit in our diet? From a positive perspective, Spam is a convenient source of protein, high in energy, and has a long shelf life. In situations of scarcity or when quick meals are needed, it can truly act as a savior. Its protein content helps maintain muscle and provide energy, while its ability to be stored without refrigeration makes it an ideal choice for travel, camping, or areas with limited storage conditions. However, the downsides are also clear. Spam contains a relatively high amount of sodium along with saturated fat, factors that, if consumed frequently and without control, may contribute to high blood pressure and cardiovascular issues. Additionally, as a processed food, it is often placed in the category of items that should be limited in modern healthy diets. The key lies in balance. When used in moderation and combined with vegetables, fiber, and other nutrient sources, Spam can absolutely be a reasonable part of a meal. On the other hand, if overused or relied on too heavily, it can become a true culprit. Therefore, rather than viewing Spam in extremes, a more practical approach is to treat it as a tool, a convenient ingredient that can be either beneficial or harmful, depending on how you use it. So, now that we understand the soul inside the can, how do you make sure you always pick the perfect one among thousands on the shelf? Don't worry. Let me show you a super simple 10-second rule to become a true Spam expert. First, run your hand around the can. A perfect can should feel smooth with no dents, especially along the seams. Why? Because any damage to the metal can compromise the vacuum seal we talked about, leading to spoilage. Next, check the best buy date printed on the bottom. Even though Spam is known for its long shelf life, a newer can ensures the fat hasn't separated too much, keeping the texture firm and springy. Finally, give the can a gentle shake. You shouldn't hear any sloshing sound. A well-packed, high-quality block of Spam should sit tightly against the walls of the can. Once you open it, your eyes and nose take over. Good Spam should have a uniform, healthy pink color, a sign that the sodium nitrite has done its job properly. The aroma should be rich and porky, never sour or metallic. If you notice a thin, clear layer of gel, remember that's natural aspic, a sign of real cooking. By mastering these quick visual and physical cues, you ensure that every dollar you spend goes toward a safe, delicious, and high-quality meal. With these simple tips, are you ready to head out and pick the best little blue can for your next kitchen adventure? At the end of the day, Spam is a story of human ingenuity and our ability to find value where others see none. What started as a clever solution to utilize leftover pork shoulder became a lifeline for soldiers, a luxury for post-war nations, and a creative canvas for modern chefs. It reminds us that simple doesn't mean basic. It means refined, efficient, and enduring. And this is QC Project. Simple things. Thank you for watching. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the simple things in everyday life. Because what you see is never the whole story. There's always something deeper beneath the surface. See you in the next one.